Hey, welcome back to the Spark Faith podcast. Thanks for listening. I am Dr. Chris Sargent. Welcome if this is your first time in. And today we are going to talk about the Mediterranean versus the Paleo diets. Um, we will get into what are the differences, what are the sames about them, and then what might be best for you, and how do we figure that out? And we'll go from there. And that's probably where we'll get to today because I like to keep it under 10 minutes here. So, the difference between this is straightforward, just like here's the difference. The paleo diet is lean proteins, nothing processed, right? Lean proteins, nuts and seeds, vegetables, starchy and non starchy, and fruit. Okay. The Mediterranean diet is the same, except we add a little bit of things that have been processed, like dairy, legumes, beans, okay, and grains, whole grains, not ultra processed grains, not white bread, right? Grains, whole grains. So those are the differences. So why would you choose one over the other? Here's my logic for picking a more paleo-esque diet for myself. So dairy and I can live a long time without much dairy. It's just that way. Or the dairy that I consume is going to be organic, right? I don't eat much cheese. I don't really eat yogurts. That's not my jam. I have a little bit of half and half in my coffee in the morning. And so dairy and meh, whatever, right? A little bit of sour cream. So just not a ton. So I don't miss it if I go without for a while. Grains and I do not get along. I love a big bowl of rice. I love me some oatmeal. I love all of that kind of thing. I love quinoa. I love it all, but it does not love me. It creates inflammation, it creates cravings, it creates brain fog, and it's not satisfying. And so you'll have to look at your own self to determine whether you love it and it loves you, or you love it and it doesn't really love you and it doesn't serve you. So I don't eat a ton of grains. I also do not eat a ton of beans for the same reason. They don't love me. I don't feel good when I eat them. I feel more bloated. And not just in that gassy, oh, you eat beans, and so, but just in a whole all over way. I can eat small portions of them, like a quarter of a cup. But again, you have to figure out what is serving you. So those things don't serve me well. So I lean into a more paleo-esque diet. And I also don't do a ton of nuts. They don't serve me well either. They're not satisfying. I don't feel full when I eat them. I could eat 600 calories and still be hungry, 600 calories in nuts and still be hungry. So I just choose not to eat very many of them because not I mean, I'll use them as part of something like peanut butter or a few nuts here and there during the day along with something else, but not as I'm going to go snack on a bunch of almonds. Not my jam. Doesn't fill me up. So you have to to personalize whatever dietary thing you pick. Really, you have to be able to personalize it. So that's where I stand on paleo versus Mediterranean. And so I want you to ask yourself some of those questions that I just like shot out there to you. Like, what foods are you eating that might not be serving you? Like, you might even feel okay eating them. You don't know. Um, what foods are you eating that are keeping you from your goals too, right? Grains and legumes and nuts really keep me from being able to stay at a healthy weight. Those things don't serve me as I move towards a healthier weight. Potatoes, fine, right? As a starchy, high complex carbohydrate kind of food, those serve me. Sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, that serves me very well. It works very well in my body for whatever reason. And then, so what's going to get you to your goal? What is it that you need to eat to get to your goal of a healthy weight, healthy brain, less brain fog, right? Because when when we eat grains, legumes, even too many potatoes, those higher carbohydrate foods can cause a lot of insulin reaction, and so can fruit. Maybe not insulin, but it creates other sugar issues. But those if that's not going to serve you or it's going to lead to diabetes because it's in your genetics, then maybe you need to take a second look at how much of those foods you're going to consume. So we can talk all day about whether we're going to eat paleo or Mediterranean, or we're going to eat the whole 30, or we're going to eat the macrobiotic diet, which is mostly grains and lots of veggies and very little protein, or a vegetarian diet, which takes out the lean animal protein, or a vegan diet, which takes out all animal products. And any of those can work for you if they're done right and if they're done for the right reasons. So there you go. Paleo versus Mediterranean really only has to do with whether you're eating grains, legumes, and dairy or not, or whatever it is that you decide to eat. You don't have to call it one thing or another, and you can make it your own. So there you go. I help people all the time really personalize their plans for what they're going to eat. That's a big part of what we do in my practice after we do labs, is really figure out what's going to work for you and what's not going to work for you. And it may take a little bit of time, but it's not too hard to really figure it out. So blessings, love, love, love you all. Have an amazing day.